Okay, Triple I on the mic. Hey. Hey, so many things have happened. I know they're always watching. Events are overlapping, no worries, cause time is passing. They're always casting, they're clapping whenever see me falling. Enemies nagging, life is begrudging. No, are you judging? No one is perfect in harvest. I don't know why you running. Don't matter what they're saying, as long as you be happy. Don't wanna see you laughing, don't wanna see you happy. Watabonga kutona bado asubuhi kutakucha. Tungane basi juchawa hayuliwi kwa kucha. Nikalema hivyo basi wakamua kunificha. Hakunilisha kupiga picha kufaidika siangaliki sasa.
Hello guys, welcome to Life Goes On show. My name is Herman and today we are going to talk about COVID and disability. I would like to invite my co-host.
Hello our viewers, thank you so much for staying with us. Today it's another day and we have very amazing people. We have guests and they are going to introduce themselves.
Hi guys, my name is Willson Kingola. I'm here to participate in Life Goes On show. I believe we have something to share. Karibu.
Hello guys, my name is Ochieng. I'm also here to participate in Life Goes On show, and I hope we will continue up.
Okay, Ochieng, can you tell us about who is Ochieng?
So I want to be very brief. Ochieng is a lawyer by profession, and despite being a lawyer, Ochieng is also interested, passionate in teaching. I've been teaching in several colleges, teaching paralegal studies, and also I've worked with people living with disability, and I'm privileged to be honored in this show. Thank you.
Mr. Wilson, can you tell who is Mr. Wilson also?
Willson Kingola is a person who has been living with disability, passionate about matters relating to disability in general, and more so currently working at Umoja Disability Center. I became a challenged person at the age of 3 years.
Mr. Wilson, now that you have come to our show and we welcome you so much, kindly can you tell us, you said that you work with people with disability. There are so many types of disability. So which type of disability people do you work with or do you stay with?
Willson Kingola is a physically disabled person. That is, first and foremost, he deals with a physical disability. But at Umoja Disability Center, we accommodate all types of disability, which range from physical to mental, to children who are CP, to albinism. We accommodate all of them.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wilson. Do you know that in other areas, like rural areas, that there are people with disability and they do suffer a lot, mostly because of COVID-19?
Yes, I totally agree with you. The urban setting is, let me say, better placed than the rural areas on matters relating to disability, and now having the COVID-19 challenge at hand. You will realize that our resources in the urban areas are better placed than in the rural areas. And, well, they may be having the farm produce, but it has really affected them because you will, as you can follow the events, the urban setting has been feeding the rural setting. So when you have a disability and you're in the rural setting, and the person who has been feeding you is now badly off, then you're in more trouble.
Ochieng, naweza tuelezea kwamba umeshaipatana na watu disability na wakati huu mgumu wa corona, naweza tuelezea hali ya watu ambao wana ulemavu iko aje sasa hivi?
Okay, just to anchor on what Mr. Kingola said, and I feel like when you talk about the setup of the urban setup and the rural setup, You know, the urban setup is privileged. In fact, even infrastructure, when you talk about infrastructure and you can look, assuming somebody is having a wheelchair, suppose, let's take that example, you see accessing their places is sometimes very difficult in the rural area. Then now back to the immediate question that you've just asked me about me interacting with the people with disability. Yes, I've interacted with them, and more so now during this COVID period, you realize that the regulations that are set by the government, some of them don't favor those with disability. For instance, if you talk about curfew, you see curfew starts at, that is 8 p.m. in the evening. Assuming that somebody with disability will work within the same place, that they also need to get home by that time. You see, the government didn't consider that. As much as we say that, as much as you say that the government is trying to do something so that these people who are living with disability can be helped, not even those with disability, but all of us can be helped to curb the coronavirus. We also see this some sense where there was no consideration of those who are living with disability. For instance, here, if suppose all of us are supposed to go to home at 8, and then that 8 o'clock tick, and those of you with wheelchair, those of you with clutches, are we on a same pace? So that's my feeling. I feel that that's the challenge these people are facing at this moment. And again, when it comes also to working at home, okay, sometimes I may say it's a blessing in disguise for them to work at home, because some of them work at home. But I know some of them, not, if not all of them, will still have to go to their workplaces. So you see, the challenge of COVID and curfew and so on still will have to affect them. That's my opinion.
Thank you so much. There's something that you have said about government, yani haijakazia mkazo kwa watu wako na ulemavu, sana sana ikifika saa ya curfew. Unapata wengine hata hiyo saa ya curfew ndio unajua mtu ako na wheelchair haezi kimbishana na polisi, hata maybe pale anaenda ni shida. So what do you suggest that the government should do? Like the setup.
I think you're putting me in a
difficult situation. I don't want to be the
Okay, your ideas. Let's say
yes,
ideas.
yes, ideas.
Okay, let's say ideas. Yeah.
But I
I don't want to speak for government, but my feeling was that the government should be considerate. When we talk about government being considerate, we should consider that if you're putting this regulation, I know of those people who normally follow this government regulation. I believe people with disability are the most people who are humble. You'll find few of them arrogant to the government regulation. So what I feel is, if the government was to consider putting the curfew, they should consider these people and perhaps say, okay, there's a situation that we will consider. Or there are those people we say that government are saying that the people who are working under special needs, so they're given special categories. So maybe government give them the cards to allow them to access their places at their own humble time. Because one thing with the people who are living with disability that I've learned, number one is patience, so that we cannot push them. So that's my feeling.
Mr. Wilson, I have a question before you answer that. Since you are unafanya kazi na watu wako na disability, kwa hii msimu wa COVID-19, how many cases have you received that kuna the most needy anataka usaidizi and ajui mahali pa kuenda? Because I'm sure there are those cases where watu kuna disability in, like now kuna nye hawana food, kuna wagonjwa, kuna old. Yeah.
Thank you, Maryanne. That is something that I feel I can talk about here and now. In that now, the people I handle, be they caregivers or those ones who are affected, they have really been adversely affected by this COVID pandemic. In that if a mother or a caregiver has a child who is differently abled, and this child is at home, and this mother has been getting casual jobs of washing dishes, kufua nguo, something like that, now it's no longer there. They have been knocking doors and nobody wants to open for them. They are really getting discouraged. Well, we find a lot of requests coming to our disability center on matters relating to health, more so on food. Well, we've been doing our best, but we know that we cannot sustain all of them. But the few who interact with us and get fed, at least we help them keep pushing until the next job is available. We've distributed the food to over 100 people who are differently abled in our center. We invite those who are able financially to buy some food, then bring the food to our disability center, and then we, by the way, we just invite those ones who are very vulnerable. We don't give everybody because all of us are not equal. We may be standing and looking equal, but some are uprighter than others. And we have chosen those ones who are really vulnerable. And we have assisted them with the food, unga, beans, such things. Even cooking oil, we have been giving them. We have even assisted with the food. And this is courtesy of organizations which donate to us. Key among them, Love Inc., Thika Road. It has really done a lot of work in our place, and we have really helped a lot of people through that one.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wilson. And do you think that, or have you noticed that there are so many people who are in needy, but they are in rural areas, mostly in slums, because COVID has affected mostly those people who are in needy?
Yeah, it is. You see, when we operate the disability center, it has no boundaries. We reach out to anybody who walks in and we know their status. If you have a child who is differently abled and you live in a slum or a rural setting, we will still address it. Because we are not addressing it because of where you come from. We are addressing it because of either the child or you yourself.
Okay, vile mmesikia Wilson na Mr. Ochieng wamesema, mmesikia yote. Sasa tunataka tuende break na nataka muone hii video ya Mama Mwangi na mtoto wake vile anapitia maisha huko Korogosho na challenges ambazo anapitia. Sawa.
Okay. Triple I on the mic. Hey, so many things have happened. I know they're always watching. Events are overlapping. No worries, cause time is passing. They're always casting.
Habari. Leo nimeona Mwangi hapa nje, kuna nimtembelee na nimekuja na rafiki yangu anaitwa Herman, na tungependa sana tusaidiane. Ningependa utambulishe kwa majina na
kwa majina ni Toano Amboi. Mimi ndio mama Mwangi. Mwangi ile shida kwa ngana kubwa sana ni ya kutembea peke yake. But nilimzaa na hiyo shida.
Watu kwamba watu wako na disability wako na uwezo ya kwenda shule na kuwa more empowered. So pia na Mwangi akiwa na hii vicha na pia sana drona at least marafiki zake hajakuwa na uwezo wa kwenda shule na hajakuwa kintarati na watu wengine katika shule.
Sasa sisikiangi nimefurahia sababu ya kushinda nyumbani, jua kati yako huko tunakuwa at least jua tuna kazi mingi yake, lakini sasa venye nashinda home shida iko because sometimes hakuna chakula na lazima kule lunch breakfast na sasa bado unapata shida.
Mama Mwangi nimefurahia sana, asante sana, Mungu akubariki na kwa uwezo wake Mungu juu hiki tunataka iende kila like iko kwa internet, iko kila mahali. Tukipata link yoyote tunaweza kutumia ushare na marafiki zako wote, ndio at least ndio Korokocho ijulikane kwa watu kuna disability na wako na uwezo ya uwezo wa kupata skills na kuwa empowered.
Welcome back our viewers. I hope you have seen the short video of Mama Mwangi mwenye ako na mtoto mwenye ako na disability. Na back to our guest. Viewers zenu kuhusu Mama Mwangi ama your contribution to that?
Thank you, Maryanne. Mama Mwangi is a mother and a caregiver of a child who is differently abled, among others. You will realize that she has to hustle so that she can get to put some food on the table for the other children. At times is a bit challenging because she has got to make some very painful decisions, in that she'll have to decide, do I lock my child in the house so that I get to work because of the others, or do I stay at home because of my special child, and at the end of the day there is nothing to put on the table. Sometimes mothers, and more so the caregivers, when they go out, they face a challenge. Even as they work, their whole feelings, their thinking, their preparation is that I have a child at home. How is that child? Is the child safe? At the end of the day, maybe she has even knocked 2, 3, 4, 5 doors looking for a job, and she has not managed to get any. You realize when she goes back home, her mind is disturbed because she wonders, now what do I do because of my child? Because that child totally and entirely depends on the mother to be fed, to be clothed, to be taken care of. Even the medical aspect, just they depend on the mother. And here the mother has other children who need her attention. Sometimes it's challenging. And especially now that COVID pandemic has struck, you realize that even getting the casual jobs, even work in the social places like markets has been reduced to almost zero. You find that whatever everybody was doing has either been shut down or is almost being shut down. So Mama Mwangi is not an exception. Yeah. She is with us, and there are issues that need to be resolved. Our government needs to look into such matters. Yes, Mama Mwangi may not get food from the government direct, but the initiative of the government, just like it is preparing to support its people through the medical facilities, it should also support people in feeding. When you look at the developed countries in the diaspora, when they go through a lockdown, they provide food for their people. And more so, in our case, because we are not as developed as they are, we should just mind about the very vulnerable people like Mama Mwangi.
Okay, I would like to ask you also, Mr. Ochieng, how did you see that video and how Mama Mwangi spoke?
Okay, my feeling just the same with Mr. Wilson, and I have a feeling that Mama Mwangi is just one among many other people who are going through the same. Because if you look at the situation there, the situation is really worsening, and you see, my feeling was that it's a sort of neglect in the part of the government, and also it's a sort of neglect in the part of the society. One thing I always say, that if the people as a society we choose to do things correctly, we'll not have people like Mama Mwangi in the street. We'll not have them. That's my feeling.
Have you ever handled a case of someone who living with disability?
Yes. When as a lawyer, there are oaths you take. The oaths we take is that, one, we need to defend equality, and that's what we champion for. So therefore, even if you look at the Act of Parliament, that 203, the Act of Disability, it states very well that all of us are equal, and whether you have disability or not. So for me, we deal with a lot of these cases, and some of the cases I say we deal with are like you realize that the neglect at workplaces, maybe they delay their salary, maybe the issue of pension schemes. We have dealt with those things, and you see, as an individual, I've learned one thing, that disability is just like a club, as most of you have been always saying, because you never know. If you find people, actually those who suffer most, maybe you find somebody who have been living well, maybe got an accident, then go to the disability club. Now you see, the needs that he was, the things that he wanted before he got disabled, and the things now he'll be needing after getting getting disabled, I think are now different. So you see, at that situation, you realize that there's a lot of neglect by the employees. So we've worked with we've dealt with a lot of them, and I can't mention even a case because, okay, it's against my working ethics to mention one of my clients, but I've dealt with a lot of them. And what I know, there is hope at the end of the tunnel. One thing is, if all of us know their rights and if all of us follow the right channels, most of these issues that go underground is because we don't follow the right regulation. But if at least you have somebody, you consult your lawyers, you consult maybe from the medics, you read literature about the people who are living with disability, you'll get solution. And that's I think that's my feeling about that.
I feel like there's something that is going to happen in future if people start embracing people with disability, and people with disability also wajikubali jinsi walivyo. So tukimalizia, ni nini mngependa kueleza watu hapo nje ama community na about the disability, like mtu mwenye kuna disability maybe is watching you na nataka maybe advice, so ungependa kumweleza?
Okay, my advice to them is that according to me, actually, one thing I want the society to understand these people is not by sympathizing with them, but by empathizing with them. I think that is the biggest issue we always have with the people who are living with disability, because in most cases you want to sympathize with them. That's what you call in quotes kuwahurumia. I've never buy that idea, because one thing I know is we need to empower these people. And even before the break, we were speaking with Mr. Wilson, and we were looking at even the way government is giving the regulation about COVID-19, and he was telling me there's an essential service, and I think as a society we need to reach that level that we understand that people who are living with disability, there's a certain kind of patience that they need, so that we take them into their pace. We should not harass them the way we harass the normal mwananchi. But that doesn't mean now that we sympathize with them. That means that we just understand their situation and we get into their world. I think that is my view about that.
Okay, Mr. Wilson, before I ask you a question, there's something called stigma. Kwa community, stigma ni meant for community. Do community say, like he has said, we have to embrace people with disability. Yeah.
Talking about stigma, the community brings it out, and we feel stigmatized. But I feel that those people who are differently abled and have been able to come out of the stigma is out of self-will. When you are stigmatized and you tell the person doing it that it's not so, then you come out fighting. Now, these people have taken it low. Okay, you are disabled. You can't do anything. You just live in the house. You depend on me. And we have agreed with that. But thank God there are a lot of changes nowadays. A lot of people have come out and they have proved those ones who have been criticizing them wrong, in that they are performing very well. They're doing jobs like anybody else. They are good thinkers. They have a lot of solutions for the society despite their disability. I feel that the best that we can do right now is to encourage them. Come out. And you don't just go encouraging somebody to come out of their hiding by pushing them back into the same hiding. You should do something that is going to encourage them to come out. And by so doing, if we talk of the 5% job placement that the government has allotted people with disability, it should be actual. But unfortunately, the 5% is there for us, but it is taken by the able-bodied. So we should encourage them to come out, go to school, get the jobs and do the work, because they can deliver. They can deliver. Now, there's something I wanted to tell the society that personally I have lived with disability from the age of 3 years. In my working place, I was never stigmatized, or it was not mentioned. Neither was it even mentioned about in my school career, even in my college. But I know of people who have been harassed by others and using very awkward words which have demeaned this person into not a human being. And this is just because they have a disability. So we should encourage them. Come out, accept yourself, and you are capable of doing what everybody else is doing. Yeah.
Mwisho ningependa muweze kuambia viewers wetu mnapatikana wapi na tunawakaribisha tena kwa hii show na mkaribuni sana, mnaweza sema.
Like I said, Wilson Kingola is the project coordinator at Umoja Disability Center. Umoja Disability Center is in Umoja 3, Court 3, just along Kangudo Road. We reach out to the surrounding areas, that is Umoja, Kariobangi, Dandora. We are also reaching out to Kayole, this area of Komarok, plus some pipeline people have also come to our center. Our thinking is that we don't provide material things, but we are a resource center. We are there to guide you as to where you can get some help, some even material things, assistive devices, for example, and we have helped quite a number of them. So in the event somebody wants to reach out to us, no problem, walk into our center, talk to us, we'll see how to help you or assist you be guided.
Yes, for me, if you want to get us, we work at Azina Towers, Ongechi Co-Advocates, 19th floor. You can find us there. Though we have other offices around here, we have office around Buruburu. This one we are setting up in Kayole Junction, and soon maybe here in Komarok. My social media handles, you can get me at Wakili Ochieng Omondi, Facebook, Twitter Wakili Ochieng Omondi, Instagram Wakili Ochieng Omondi, and everything is Wakili Ochieng Omondi. Thank you so much for inviting us in this show, and we appreciate. We like what you people are doing.
Welcome. Okay, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. See you then.
Hey, so many things have happened. I know they're always watching. Events are overlapping, no worries, cause time is passing. They're always casting, they're clapping whenever see me falling. Enemies lagging, life is begrudging. No, are you judging? No one is perfect in harvest. I don't know why you running. Don't matter what they're saying, as long as you be happy. Don't wanna see you laughing, don't wanna see you happy. Watabonga kuto na bado asubuhi kutakucha. Tungane basi juchawa hayuliwi kwa kucha. Nikalema hivyo basi wakamwa kunificha. Hakunilisha kupiga picha kufaidika. Siangalii kisasi juu ni Mungu tu ndo atanilipa. Life goes on and on and on. Life goes on.